I've been doing that for years. So.
Have you ever had any requests where like people have asked you to take their projects such as radio plays or pandas or something?
Yeah, and sadly, most of the time I have to turn it down, not because I don't value the project, but just because it's not professional. Especially once, the big part I think is once you join a union, a SAG or AFTRA, it really limits what you can start doing outside and what's considered okay, because there's, SAG, for example, has rule number 1, which is no non-union work, and that's still considered work even though it's something you do for fun. So it's a very fine line, especially when you get to a certain point in your professional career. And it's very hard for me because I try to tell them, it's like, you know, I'll help you guys. I'll tell you what you know, I'll give you recommendations on what your voices sound like, what you should be doing, but unfortunately I can't actually voice in your project. And it's really hard for me because this is the community that I love. And
No, I mean like critique.
huh?
No, critiquing people.
Oh, critiquing people? Oh, I critique people all the time. People, no, not like that. But like,
I judge people. I'm judging you.
Objection! But people ask me all the time to listen to their demos and give them suggestions or have me listen to their auditions. And on that same page, I live with 3 people who work in voice acting who I don't send out any audition unless somebody else has heard it, just because feedback is essential to growing as an actor.
Totally. I critique demos all the time. For the really thorough ones, not to turn into a salesman all of a sudden, but I do sell blocks of time on Skype for people who want to not only have a demo critique, but to do like a kind of a workout. Not exercise, but like I'll have some script samples and I'll see how you do with improv, see how you do cold reading, see how you do adjusting in the moment, you know, just kind of putting you through the same expectations that a professional actor would in the booth. So beginners can see what it's like when you go in and audition for something. You know, what is the director going to ask of you? Sometimes they throw a curveball. So if you're interested, go to my website, and I do that. But I mean, and I really feel like, okay, you're taking someone who's worked in the industry for over a decade, and I'm using that knowledge to kind of help you kind of fill in the gaps. It's like, okay, it's one thing to say, I'll listen to your demo. Yeah, it was pretty good. Well, can you get more? Can you break it down a little more? Tell me what worked, what didn't. So, all right, well, we could take, you know, 15, 20 minutes out of the hour and just focus on every little excerpt you put in your demo and why it works or why it doesn't. Or maybe the sequence was a little off. It's like, you stuck 2 voices that sound too similar back to back, or maybe the first cut sounds too much like the last cut, and it's like maybe, you know, just getting a professional opinion, you know, and all that. But yeah, critiques happen all the time. And it's important to get honest feedback. Your friends and family will tell you that they love you and everything you do is great and perfect. So think outside the box. Go out to people you don't know, industry people who can be objective about it.
If you need any examples of that, just watch American Idol.
Yeah.
God, you have people coming in there that are like, their parents are like, oh my God, I've never heard anybody sing like her. And then they come out there and it's like, I have a dream.
Yeah. It's like, okay, if you do one of my Skype sessions, I can't turn you into an actor. I don't teach acting. I'm not an acting coach. I'm a motivational coach. I'll tell you, okay, yeah, I'm sorry, but your performance was rather wooden. It's rather flat. Well, how can I get better? Take acting classes. Take acting workshops. You're not going to become an actor overnight in one weekend or even by taking one class or anything. Get multiple opinions. Learn from multiple people. Dino Andrade for character, Pat Fraley for character, MJ Lalo for character, Nancy Wolfson for commercial, Bill Holmes for commercial. I mean, there's all sorts of, especially in the Los Angeles area, tons of wonderful resources. These people know the business. They've been in the business forever and a day and can be of endless use to you. You just have to be patient and passionate about it.
What's your rate on the Skype sessions?
Oh, the rate. Oh, I charge $75 an hour. So it's about half what a normal private tutor session would be with a voice coach. I just try to knock it in half and just try to be, you know, cheaper. And I know it's still expensive in this crummy economy, but there's no rush. You know, I've been doing it for years. So whenever, if anyone's interested in doing that, just hit me up on my website or Facebook, and we'll talk about it. I have testimonials from everybody who's taken it. I have an explanation about expectations and what not to expect from taking them. So that's all I'll say about that.
And I know that myself, like I'm very vocal on both Facebook and Twitter, and if you're ever looking for like recommendations, I always answer those kind of things. It gets a little overwhelming at times because weeks that I'm really busy, I'll have like 5 people going like, hey Julie, do you know anybody who I can, this is specifically what I'm looking to train with, do you know anybody? And it's like, let me figure that out for you. But I know tons of people are very open about recommendations, the teachers you should be taking for, especially for your voices,